You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Welcome, everyone. What are you laughing at, Mark?
I'm just smiling.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 20 of MC True Long Island Story. I'm your host, always ready, the internet champion, Matt Cardona.
I'm also here, producer of the show, Smart Mark Sterling. Broski, did you defend the internet championship this weekend?
I did. I successfully defended the title against Steve Corino's son, Colby Corino, at AML Wrestling. The vlog is going to be insane. I got a Road Warrior / Broski pop when I came out. It was nice to feel the people again. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
A full jam-packed arena, professional setup, hard cam lighting. It was great. And then I saw like this perfect opportunity because there were some bleachers. So after I won, I went through the crowd, kind of did like a DDP pose with the title with the people.
That's great. That's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Real quick, little housekeeping. Last week we had a little issue with the podcast. Not many people mentioned it, but there was a little echo. We believe that we have fixed that problem. And also, as you can see, I am traveling right now, and my microphone.
You didn't even make the bed, Mark.
I didn't make the bed. My microphone cord broke, so I don't have a microphone. Cord? What's that?
How do you break a microphone cord?
I must have grabbed a frayed one or something.
Oh, wow.
For this, it's just a USB cord. So it was a broken USB cord. Whatever.
I see.
So for this podcast, I don't have the best microphone. I apologize.
Your Wi-Fi is also not the best there.
The Wi-Fi at the hotel is not the best. So hopefully this video is coming across good. But as
you guys thought Tony Khan get some better Wi-Fi in those hotels.
It's the Marriott. It's your friends at the Marriott. You love them.
Oh, okay.
All right. Gabby Trice says,
not Super Gabby?
Not Super Gabby. It's actually Gabi. We've answered this before, I believe, on Twitter, but I wanted you to say it here because we get questions about it a lot. What's the story behind the little last resort graphic that shows up at the bottom right of the episodes? It's only there for a few seconds at the start of each episode, and I keep expecting it to be mentioned on MC each week, but it hasn't been addressed yet.
So after this YouTube show dies, I kind of tease a couple of times I'm going to bring it back. And those trailers, I think, are still up on the original channel. And then I do start a new show, Last Resort. And I don't know what I did with the YouTube, and I made it so like that was like an automatic thumbnail on the video. So Mark, you're going to have to go into my account and just take them down. And that's all it is. And that trilogy is up there. I do like the trilogy. I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. I just felt like people wanted the goofy, the skits, and that just wasn't happening. I wasn't going to do that. And I also did not want to go down a bitter road. So it was just a trilogy. Right. But it's still up.
So really the answer is it's literally just a retroactive YouTube overlay graphic from what basically you're promoting your new show years after the fact. So that's why that's there.
Yes. And then today, I got my PBR in my hand, but I'm not drinking it, full disclosure, because it is very, very early. It's Monday. I had a hell of a weekend, a travel loop. Mark, you would have had a heart attack like with the travel that I had. I couldn't even imagine the stuff that you would have went through and how you would have reacted because
like this,
yeah, you would have panicked. But I'm home now. It's too early for a major PBR. So I do have a little coffee here. With my Mickey mug. And by the way, listen to Majorland, the podcast about theme parks with myself and Chelsea Green. So,
well, while you're drinking that, I also am not drinking a PBR because I drank them all yesterday.
I saw the pitch flying Brian Jr.
Hell of a beach trip with the Bears and Brian Jr. and a couple other guys. And PBR graced us with a lot of tall boy 16-ounce beers, and we killed them all. Had a nice beach day in Jacksonville. So thank you very much.
PBR, the major PBR Forever commercial will debut next week, guys. We've been dropping some little hintsky, some picks It's going to be really, really fun. And the collaboration between PBR and the Major Wrestling Fair podcast, it's just getting started. We have a lot of cool things in the works. I have this Razor Ramon prototype that I just built, and it just like all fell apart. So like, I was like, what does that sound? What does that sound here? It just fell apart. Anyway.
All right, back to follow up. Harry Flynn said Yoshitatsu had a feud with Tyson Kidd on NXT because Tyson broke Yoshi's elite figure.
Yes, they had a big feud over the figure, but I don't believe he's holding the elite figure in that video.
Right. Okay.
I think it's like a basic.
And then
I love wrestling Yoshi. I don't want to go back, but like I said, I loved wrestling him. We worked a lot, and that's how you build chemistry with somebody. You know, it's weird, like on these independent matches for me, whether it be against, you know, Sam Adonis or Bishop at AIW or Kobe Carino, like not everything is perfect, but you know, you can tell, okay, if I wrestle this guy two times, 3 times, 2 or 3 times, you know, you'd click. And Yoshi and I, we clicked because we worked so many times. A couple of funny stories about Yoshi. One, I remember it's a WrestleMania like pre-show battle royal, and we're the final 2. And like, I couldn't believe it. This is, I guess, 26, WrestleMania 26. We're the final 2 in the battle royal. So it was like cool for me and him, like, because what were we doing as the final 2? Like, I thought I would have been out like first. I'm looking at the sheet expecting to be out like first or third, but I'm until the end with Yoshi.
That's awesome. Yeah,
so that was fun. And then another funny story is we're overseas in England, and I'm scheduled to wrestle Yoshi. This is a house show, and I go out there. This is Woo Woo heel Zack Ryder. It's before the YouTube show, and I'm in the ring in England. And all of a sudden, I hear, "Doo, doo, doo," and it's Regal. So I'm like, you son of a bitch. I know like Finley and Regal had this set up like they're trying to rib me, right? Like, okay, now I got to work Regal on the fly, but like, whatever. It was super easy. Regal's a pro. In England, he's a goddamn babyface. Super easy. But what I didn't know, and I found out later, is that backstage, the rib turned out to really be on Yoshi, because Yoshi's like, what's going on? What's going on? It's supposed to be me. It's my match. It's my match. It's my match. So like, he's panicking because nobody smartened him up. He's ready to go wrestle me, you know?
Why did they make him get all geared up? Did he have to wrestle anybody?
Well, yeah. So then the real rib goes on Christian, because now he has to wrestle Yoshi and call this match with Yoshi. He was supposed to wrestle Regal. I was supposed to wrestle Yoshi. But it was like a mind fuck thing, but like it's not going to get me, you know?
Yeah.
So really, it got Yoshi and it got Christian.
Right.
Funny story.
And BG asks, hey, Mark, what happened with Brian's ECW podcast? Well, BG, since you're listening to this podcast, me and Brian I think we've decided that we have like 1 round more of interviews to do. It's, I would say, halfway edited. So we're on target for like a summer release. But yeah, so 6 episodes coming soon. ECW Extreme Conversations with Brian Myers. It's definitely not done, and we've done a lot more work on it since. So just wanted to bring that up.
And also on the Major Pod Network, we have the Gabe Marks podcast, and now the Card Foundation podcast. And the guys, the whole season of FWF, like the Figure Wrestling Federation, is up, even with all the Patreon bonus stuff. It's up. And I guess, Mark, we'll drop it now, starting in July on Patreon. FWF is back, Jack. Just 1 pay-per-view a month. No TVs.
Did you get Brian to agree?
We're saying it now, so we're going to have to agree. Just 1 episode. Hey, bare minimum, Brian can give me 1 episode a month. And no, it's not going to be, you know, loopholes where I'm writing the 4 TVs. Listen, we have 1 show a month. They're mega shows, super shows, if you will. Pretend it's like an indie show. You know, they don't do weekly TVs. I guess some, like Cap TV does, but most don't. They go month to month. So now FWF will be that way. And don't get it confused with the real FWF. It's so confusing.
FWF Live, FWF Live, and FWF.
Right. Well, it's the Figure Wrestling Federation and FWF. Right. And FWF Live is not us playing with figures. I mean, there are figures involved, like your match has some figures involved.
Right. Right.
And then, of course, patreon.com/MajorWFPod. If you want to listen to this podcast early, ad-free, and listen to the back log, the category that's been over 2 years, almost 3 years of stuff is up there.
Hell yeah. All right. What do you got for follow-up from last week?
I don't really have much follow-up, to be honest, from last week.
Okay.
In fact, I have zero follow-up from last week.
Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the Broski of the week.
The Major Pod Network has a new tag team partner, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Everybody needs some liquid courage to make their own weekly purchases. Scratch that figure itch and scratch that PBR itch.
Get your PBR beer, get your PBR hard coffee, and get your PBR stronger seltzer.
8%? If you're listening to this, you're already a major mark. Now it's time to become a major PBR mark.
Use the hashtag MajorPBR and post your pictures and videos of you major marking out.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Major Pod Network, the new tag team champions of the world.
Of the world!
But we're definitely not getting any new figures from Mattel.
The Broski of the week.
All right, the Broski of the week. All you have to do, and it's very simple, guys. I know it sounds complicated, but you have to leave a review on iTunes, right? Screenshot it. Then find the pinned tweet at the top of my Twitter at the Matt Cardona. Quote tweet it, and in that quote tweet, use the hashtag Broski of the week and post your review, and then that's it. You can be eligible to be the Broski of the week. And
Perfect.
This week, the Broski of the week is at Georgie Jedi Pete. Long ass review here. 10 years later, and Zach Matt's journey is even more relevant than ever. 10 years ago, Zach bet on himself and he got himself over from nothing. At the same time, I was in a dead-end job, struggling to make ends meet with no future. Now, after building and growing his entertainment network and heading out on the road to take on some of wrestling's most dangerous opponents, Matt is back along with Mark Sterling to give us the behind-the-scenes juice to every ZTLIS. Now I own my house, have 2 promotions over the last year, and get to marry the girl of my dreams this summer. The reason why I love ZTLIS was the never say die attitude the show oozed of. It's great to look back and see that throughout the hard times, it's a 2-parter, so I gotta find this. Throughout the hard times, throughout the hard times, our hard work, drive, and determination paid off. Look at us now. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Well, Georgie, you are the Broski of the week, and that means you're going to get a whole bunch of prizes. You will get the signed 8x10 available on mattcardonamerch.com. And also, I just put up on mattcardonamerch.com all the 8x10s I bring to the indie shows, like Edgeheads, IC title win, US title, Raw Tag Team title. So check that out. You will also get the Broski of the Week headband available on mattcardonamerch.com. And the exclusive, only available to the Broski of the Week sticker. But guys, check out mattcardonamerch.com. We got internet title keychains. We got sunglasses, figures, face masks. And those face masks, please, let's get rid of those face masks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only place I got to wear a face mask is the airport. It pisses me off.
Yep, for sure.
And don't tick me off.
All right, let's talk about your tweets. Let's get into the week that was 10 years ago. A lot of good tweets this week. Matt Cardona, June 23rd. My Facebook is facebook.com/Long Island IC. That is not currently your Facebook, but that's what it was back then.
It still is, actually.
Oh, you still have that one. You don't have a different one.
I'm still waiting to merge it. Papa Bear,
Okay.
Paul was supposed to hook me up with someone that was going to fix it. And then she took all this information. She got my ID, but I think she was trying to steal my identity because she hasn't done anything yet.
All right. You say June 28th. It wasn't on Raw tonight, but you can watch me here. June 25th. By the way, it's a link to the YouTube. June 25th, I spent over $100 on Zack Ryder merchandise on WWEcreate.com/Zack Ryder. You mentioned this last week. It was like this creation site. And then somebody on Twitter did the Wayback Machine and linked to your merch on that thing. Yeah. It was like a shirt, a cup, just same stuff you were talking about. It was pretty funny. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like there was like a mouse pad.
That's
weird
cool
stuff.
June 23rd. I've said it so many times. Broski of the Week video needs to be 30 seconds or less. Why are people sending me videos that are over 1 minute? Are you serious, bro? Now, here's one I wanted to ask about. June 24th. I'm finally getting an authentic shirt, and my broskies get to choose which one. And then there was a poll that you click through Facebook. And then you say, pick number 2, take care, spike your hair. So what's the deal with this? Your first shirt was a fan.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is a crazy story. And I wish I still had the images, and I'm still looking for them. I've contacted the guys from WWE shop to see if they have it. So how it works in WWE typically is they'll present you with, like, let's just say 4 designs, and then you get to choose. The designs they showed me were god awful. Now, off the top of my head, like, one of them had, like, I don't know if it was like a panda bear or a teddy bear, or like wearing like sunglasses and a headband. Like, maybe it was a tiger. Then there was like some with like seals. It was just didn't make sense. None of it was like me at all. Like, I'm like, this is god awful. One of them was like just a giant QR code. It was just, I thought it was like almost a rib when they showed it to me. I was like, come on, guys, where are the real shirts? But this was it. Like, this is what they came up with. They watched my YouTube show, and this is what they thought would work. And I said, listen, if this is what you're going to make me, I'd rather just stick to this basic shirt, because you're going to make this and it's going to flop, and you're going to say, well, Zack Ryder doesn't sell merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's how bad the shirt designs were.
Yeah. Okay.
So eventually I was able to compromise with them and said, listen, I took the graphic that's at the end of the show, like with the sunglasses, the spiked hair, and the headband. Said, can we do something like this? And let's put that QR code on the back. Because I like the idea of a QR code. It's funny because QR codes were in, then not in, now they're the thing again, kind of. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want that like as the actual shirt. Like, let's put it on the back, maybe. And then so then I can say, like, take care, spike your hair. So, like, I didn't design the shirt in the fact that, like, I got the artwork, but like I designed it in my head. And that's how I work now with TTD. You know, I designed.
And where would the QR code go?
Down so it looks like shit. And then he makes it look good.
Right. If somebody used the QR code, where did it go?
It either went to like my WWE.com profile or my WWE shop page, something like that.
Gotcha. So then what ended up winning?
So the shirt that it's not iconic, but to me it is. If you're a Zack Ryder fan, it's the first shirt with the headband, the glasses, the sunglasses.
Gotcha.
Well, that just says the headband, the sunglasses, and the spiked hair. And like there was a couple other ones, but I'm like, guys, vote for this one, vote for this one, vote, because I wanted. That's what I wanted.
Right. Okay. You say, I don't know what this means. June 23rd. No, my Twitter wasn't hacked. My farts really do stink. June 28th. About to fly from LA to Sydney, Australia. I hope I get, in caps, lost. Hurley could be my new broski. I don't know when we would ever talk about this, but you big Lost fan?
Huge Lost fan. Loved it. I got into it maybe before season 2 came out, like the DVD set, like my brother got for Christmas, and I was home from Deep South, and I binge watched it. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. And maybe I'm messing up the timeline. Maybe it was like the year before. I don't know, but I thought the show was great. I didn't agree with every decision throughout the show, but the original, like I think the first 2 seasons I just loved because it felt like so real. And then it got like all like supernatural and the fast forwards and the black smoke. And then it got a little odd for me. But when it was like, you know, reality based, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. But this is my problem with Lost all along. I love Lost. But also look, we have thousands of dollars in Star Wars stuff. We love sci-fi. We'll believe aliens and magic. We like Harry Potter, right? We're fine with that. But when you start a show and you tell people it's a survival show about people who crash landed on an island, and then 3 seasons in, make it a mythical, magical it's, to me, that's lazy writing. They wrote themselves into a corner and they were like, I guess magic. Know what I'm saying?
I don't even necessarily disagree with the fact that they went that way, because like when I forget what season it ends with, when Jack is like, we have to go back, and he's like in current. I'm like, what? I felt like there was just too many plot holes. Like if everything would have connected and made sense, like you said, like we love Star Wars and Harry Potter. Like if the fantasy would have made sense, I just thought there was too many like discrepancies. It kind of took me out of it.
Yes, and they love those red herrings where you'd be like, what does that mean? And they never explained it. And that was
what
just,
I didn't like. Yeah. So many things unanswered.
Yeah.
And important things unanswered.
But you did not crash land that plane because you did go to Sydney, Australia, because your next tweet, June 30th. Oh my God, I'm getting a face.
Tony Khan's face.
The Broski is, yeah. The Broski is down under in Australia. Can't find an Outback Steakhouse though. Bogus. All right. This week. So I'm confused at the timeline because this show comes out on July 1st. Okay. So episode 20 of Z comes out on July 1st. It's all like kind of like Australia themed. We'll talk about it in a second. You're wearing like a hat and all that stuff. However, you don't have your first match in Australia until July 1st. So I don't know if you filmed the hat stuff not in Australia or you were in Australia.
No, it definitely was in Australia.
Okay, so maybe you were a couple days you were there before you had your first match. But if we're talking about,
that doesn't make sense to me. Well, I mean, Australia is like a weird. It's far away. It's not weird. So like, there might have been like time difference thing.
Possibly. Okay.
It really depends like when we left. If we left after Raw, after SmackDown,
Right. So
it really depends.
The week leading up to this show, July 1st, leading up to this show, the match that you had was 6/27/11. Zack Ryder defeats Drew McIntyre on Superstars, and it was filmed when you were at Raw. Okay. So that's what you have. That Raw that was filmed on June 27th, 2011. They taped 2 Monday Night Raws because then you guys went to Australia.
That makes sense.
Okay. That I didn't even know they ever did that, really. Tape in this time period. Tape 2 Raws in the same spot.
Yeah, it happens pretty often because if for example, like they're not doing Raw in Australia.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll talk about your matches in Australia next week because there's a lot of them. You basically wrestle every day for a week.
There's definitely some footage because that's the night I come out with the internet title and get yelled at.
Okay, cool.
From IRS, he's not yelling at me.
Okay, so that's next week. Yeah. So the Raw, R-Truth defeats John Cena tables match. Kelly defeats Nikki Bella. Alex Riley and Rey Mysterio defeat The Miz and Jack Swagger in a tornado match. Kane's beating CM Punk in a mystery opponent match. So I believe there was some voting and stuff on this Raw, but then they directly after filmed the next week's Raw, but we'll talk about that next week. You were actually in that one. So you do have a little thing on Raw next week. Okay. Episode 19. Episode 20, sorry. First thing is you have a little new graphic, the Z Trolling Story XX for 20.
Yeah, it's this little spoof of the WrestleMania 20 logo. Steve Zitko's made it. He was really good with those designs. Again, like I knew what I wanted and he would just bang them out free of charge. Hot dog and a handshake. Never paid the guy. He never asked. He was just a broski who helped out. So I appreciate that. We got to get him on one of these days.
Oh, definitely. For sure. Okay. So you have a hat on, I guess an Australian hat. You have an Australian flag. You were waving it from down under. So I'm guessing you flew to Australia and said, well, I got to record the show before anything.
Yeah. So like as the episode will tell you, a lot of it is footage sent in from other people because I knew I was pressed for time. Especially like you can't really trust the Wi-Fi situations in these hotels. So I remember pretty sure I went with Ziggler and we like went around Australia and I got like the hat and the stuff like that, the koala bear that you'll see later. Just fun little props for the show. Because
how would people send stuff in? Like email? Like Chi would email you a video? Okay.
Email, yeah.
Okay, so the next you do a sign of the week this week. It's something.
That's the first time with the sign of the week graphic.
Right, sign of the week graphic. This is Zack Ryder. The sign was like illegible. I like zoomed in, I screenshotted it, I zoomed in more, but it's. I think it was a play off of this is Zack Ryder. This is the WWE. I think it was something like that, but it was a pretty cool sign.
And we'll wait till next week, but I'm pretty sure I switch it to sign of the week because the amount of signs are just getting too much where I just have to do one.
Makes total sense.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Okay, so the Big O, you cut to the Big O. He's on LI. He says more weights equals more dates, and he leg presses 810 pounds. But it's Big O's leg press clips freak me out because his legs go so straight, and I think that they're going to break in half the other way.
Big O is a freak. He's super strong. Form isn't the best, but that's Gold's gym in Belmore, New York, the gym where we first met when I was doing standing calf races, and he put his headphones into my ear, and it was Nukas on the Block, and that's when we became buddies. But yeah, I needed footage because I was literally in a different country, on the road, didn't have the time to record stuff. And at this time, like the guys and girls on the road weren't really filming stuff for me. So I needed to get the outside people like Big O. And this is a good opportunity to like continue, not their storyline, but continue putting them out there, like they can't just show up like every 10 episodes, you got to keep putting them in, even if it doesn't really make sense. They need to have their own characters. They can't just be with you in every scene. Big O's what's up?
I think it's great. And showing him a leg press 810 pounds is pretty cool.
So ridiculous. Yeah. And you could tell, like, you can count all those 45 plates up. Like, he's not bullshitting.
Yeah.
And this is a total like body guy observation, but that leg press, I missed that leg press. It's so smooth. Like if you watch the video, like, and if you ever do leg presses, there are some that like really are not like, I don't know, like because when you're in a leg press, you really can't have good or bad form. It's whatever the machine does. But this one, I think you can like get it nice and deep, and like it's good on your knees, and there's different spots you can put your feet. I like that leg press.
Just specifically at that gym,
like that in a while. What's that?
Specifically at that gym, you mean? That
machine, I'm sure. I mean, it's not a Gold's Gym Belmore exclusive,
right,
but
okay, I see.
That style where you can like, there's different spots to put your feet.
Right.
I like that.
Okay, so then we get a Stanford segment. Bromeo and Woo Woo Wooliet. This has Stanford written all over it.
100%.
He does a bad English accent. The little poem, Shakespeare like, spiketh thy hair. Woo woo woo, you dost know it, bro.
Yeah, so I certainly didn't message Scott and say, hey, Scott, can you please do like this Romeo and Juliet thing, but call it Romeo or Bromeo and Wooliet? Like, I certainly didn't come up with that. This is all his idea. It worked. I played it. This is some of the stuff where like I didn't necessarily like it, but it fit. It got him on the show. It filled time. So it was good. But this was not my creation one bit.
I think he put a lot of work into it. I enjoyed it.
And that's the thing, too. You could always tell no matter what Scott did, he put a lot of work into it, a lot of thought into it. And like, I don't think he's reading off a teleprompter. It's in like a living room. So he like memorized that, which is impressive.
Right. So here's a funny one. You do the Ziggler and Venkman, but this time it's actually Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, so that's his appearance on the show.
First appearance. Okay.
First appearance of Dolph Ziggler. And it's funny because you can tell he has like the awkward short blonde hair. Remember that time?
Yes.
They made him cut his hair to short brown hair for like no reason. And then everyone decided, or enough people decided, hey, that was a bad idea. Let him dye it back and grow it out. So stupid.
That was weird. Yeah. That was very weird.
He had like he had real awkward hair for a while. So I guess that whole year, 2011, it's awkward.
Yeah. Okay, Broski of the week this week is Agnes Olsen, and she's an artist. And
she made incredible.
Yes, she made like a video, kind of like a stop motion video of her drawing this cartoon of you, It's really good. It's an awesome little drawing. And then at the end, she says, "Oops, didn't make it tan enough," and then makes it darker, which is very on brand for you.
Yeah, it was entertaining. The actual artwork was fantastic.
Yeah,
very creative. Those are the
editing was
videos.
Good. Yeah, yeah. The editing was really good.
And even now, 10 years later, that artwork still holds up.
Yes, for sure.
And I would love if she's around and if she's listening to make me a current day one. I can have them side by side. That'd be awesome. But like, you can't expect that every week you're going to get a video that good. But so when you get it, I go instantly Broski of the week. You know, some weeks you're really like, well, who am I going to use? You know, this one it was cut and dry, easy.
Yeah. The next segment, you say it's illegal to hold a koala in Australia, which I didn't know. But everyone makes exceptions for the Li iced Z, and then you have a little stuffed koala, and it's fist pumping to the music. Little cute segment. Made me smirk. But here's the big deal. First of all, how much did you spend on that koala?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like me and Ziggler, and I don't want to use the wrong terminology, but I feel like we went to some sort of Australian zoo. And so there's like jacked up kangaroos and stuff, and the koalas, and I probably bought it in that gift shop.
I bet you that hat was in the gift shop too. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I bought the hat like on the streets of Australia.
Okay.
Like a little store on the streets of Australia. But if I had to make a video montage of the first year of Z True Long Island Story, I would include me with that koala bear.
Really?
I would.
Just because it's different.
It just like, I think it sums up like the heart of the show. You know,
I see.
I'm in Australia. I'm in a hotel room. I have a stuffed koala bear and I'm making it fist bump. It's so ridiculous.
Right. All right. This might be one of my favorite segments. First of all, huge debut. Huge. It has ramifications. Debut. Ramifications for the rest of the show. Chiapetta.
Rest of my life.
I think it's funny too. He goes, "Hey guys, it's Chiapetta." Like anybody knows who Chiapetta is.
So Chiapetta was helping me behind the scenes. First of all, he's looking jacked and tan there. Summertime 2011. And then he goes and he shows my dad pumping gas, but my dad is wearing that Morrison, but my mom's 80s fur coat. And he says, "I'm a mofo." So ridiculous that my dad agreed to do that in public. But then Chiapetta, takes the camera to the passenger seat. It's the Molina cardboard cutout.
Dude,
I thought it was pretty funny.
So it's like a joke on a joke, right? You see, you're like, okay, this is funny. And then that part is
it's not over yet.
It's so good. But Chiapetta finally debuts. He's introduced himself. Perhaps he should just said, "I'm Broski's roommate or best friend," or something.
At this point, he's not the roommate. He's not the roommate yet. It's funny because it's incredible to me that this MC True Long Island Story is not the only spinoff of Z True Long Island Story. We got True Long Island Story, which is all videos have been removed from the internet of that. But I would love to find some. Why?
Yeah.
He removed them all because he's has a real job now and he doesn't want those out there. He tried to get me to remove all of these. I said, sorry, pal.
Well, we got to have him on. I don't want to ask you too many questions about Chiapetta right now because we'll talk to him when we have him on.
I mean, Chiapetta is someone I met in kindergarten, and I wouldn't say we were necessarily best friends the whole time because we certainly weren't. But if you know someone in elementary school, if you grow up around the block, you know them. They're always around. And it wasn't until high school, college we became really, really close. Right. And then he had his own spinoff and destroyed my WrestleMania gear and stuff like that.
Yeah, and didn't pay your rent. The next segment is this is the WWE. This is Zack Ryder. Then you zoom out and it's two pieces of paper in a book. And it says, "This is the WWE, not on the same page as Zack Ryder." Any questions? Good little.
Okay. I think this episode is, I don't want to say thrown together, but it's very thrown together. I clearly don't have the time to film original footage while I'm in Australia. So I got the Chiapetta thing with my dad, the Stanford thing, the Big O. And then I throw this notebook thing together. But, it wasn't the best pun. Is that the word?
Sure.
Analogy?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was it's not bad. It just wasn't the best one I've done.
Right.
It got the point across.
When I forget what was on my mind, but when I'm watching it, I thought I knew where it was going, and I was like, "This is clever." But then you went the other way, and I was like, "Oh, this was clever." But I forget what my idea was when I saw it, but I thought it was something different.
Okay.
Back to Australia real quick. I know you've told me you don't really do the tourist stuff when you are in cities often. Did you get a chance to see Australia? Maybe not this time, but like any other time you were there? Do you feel like you've like seen good portions of Australia in your travels?
No, I don't think
Really?
so.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not like we were going to like the nice beaches or anything. Like I said, I went to like the zoo. I apologize if that's not the right word, but where there was like kangaroos and stuff.
Right.
There's really not much time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you can't like be like, oh, travel department. I'm just gonna miss Raw and just stay a couple extra days.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I get you for sure. Okay. And then the final thing is you close out the show and you have a boomerang that you must have got at the store, and then you
That's
throw
right.
the
Instead of throwing
boomerang
the
at
sunglasses at the camera, throw the boomerang. Very creative. It definitely was not one take. I wonder how many takes I took on that.
What did you do with the boomerang and the hat and the koala?
The hat is gone. I want to say like the boomerang might still be in my garage somewhere.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like my Matt Cardona stuff. I believe the bear is gone. I believe the hat is gone. Boomerang I might still have.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 20. Before we finalize the show, let's hear a little word from our sponsors. And we're back. Broski, are you serious, bro? What's that? Tell them what we got this week.
Are you serious, bro?
Oh yeah, baby. The Are You Serious Bro tweet of the week. All you got to do is tweet something that pops me. Use the hashtag Are You Serious Bro, and if I read it on air, you'll get one of those 8x10s. This one comes from Keith King at Dad Daughter Show at the Matt Cardona. You were at Cedar Point the same day as my family and me. Hashtag Are You Serious Bro? And he put two little pictures together. And Cedar Point is a nice theme park. And check out on the Major Pod Network YouTube channel, I have a little vlog ski going to Cedar Point. It's funny because I did get recognized a couple times that day, but not by Keith. So
I see. Well, he left you alone then. All right, know your bro. Same deal. Broski will send you an 8x10. You just have to use the hashtag Know Your Bro and ask a question about this week's episode on
like the next week's.
Yes, exactly. On Twitter. Edward Shivani at Eddie_Shivani says, in episode 20, what did you like most about your Australian trip? Hashtag Know Your Bro.
Oh man. This particular trip is this one is the one where I wrestle Primo and I come out with the kids Intercontinental title, which I turned into the internet title.
Right.
So it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's very ridiculous that I come out with this title, have this match with Primo. Pretty sure Justin Roberts is recording it. So we'll talk about it in next week's episode, I'm sure.
Yep.
And it was a fun loop. You know, I felt at this time I could kind of do no wrong. I mean, I did get yelled at, but not yelled at. Like Mike Rotundo, IRS was not happy that I came with the title, and rightfully so. I came out with this like a toy belt. It's like, what are you doing? You know? Yeah, that's what I remember most about this tour. And yeah, doing the like I said, like when you're on these overseas tours, it's hard enough to get like a workout in. It's so like you can't really go and do tourist stuff. But now I have to edit this YouTube show.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not a good editor. So it takes me a long time to do. So I'm trying to get workouts in. The sightseeing like is not my priority. I'm trying to edit this show, get my workouts in, get some rest.
I feel you 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I don't like saying, oh, I wish I would have like saw more of the world. Are there days where I could have skipped the gym Sure. But like that's in hindsight. When you're like living in the moment, you don't want to skip the gym. Like you feel like you can't skip the gym. You've been eating like shit. And believe it or not, guys, when you're on these overseas tours with WWE, like when you're on these like long, like you hear like charter planes. Yeah. You know what you're getting? You're getting like a like like a hero sub with like one piece like turkey on it. And it's a bread sandwich essentially. Or you're on these long bus rides where they're giving you McDonald's or just bags of potato chips. So you're eating like shit. So like if you have an opportunity to work out, you want to work out, or at least someone like me does, you know. There's certainly people, trust me, they don't touch a weight when they're overseas. I think that's a problem with the business, but
it's 2 weeks in a row you're shooting on physiques in the wrestling business.
But yeah, I mean, listen, could I have done certain things overseas? Like, okay, I wish I would have taken more advantage of, the theme parks. Luckily on my last year at WWE, I went to a lot of theme parks, the Disneyland Paris, Tokyo Disney Sea, the Singapore Universal. Like I went to those places before. I could have been going this whole time and I didn't. That's on me. I guess I regret that. But like Eiffel Tower, I've been there. Like how many times am I going to go? You know what I'm saying? Like I rode on a camel in Egypt in front of the pyramids. How many times am I gonna, like, okay, like do you have to do it every time? Like I did do some things, or like in England, I'd go around, and see like these like churches. You take a picture in front of this church or whatever, and like, okay, now what? Like, it's like, I don't know. That's just not my thing. Like I would always like to go around in Italy and stuff. And so like I did a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're there to wrestle. You're there to work. And part of your job is how you look. Mm-hmm. So to me, working out was a priority over, taking a stroll down the street.
Yeah. Yeah. You certainly don't have time to enjoy a coffee at a cafe in Italy.
And you can, and I have, but you got to find that balance. And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you have more time than others.
Right. Could have an off day or whatever.
Never an off day, but sometimes,
never
an off day, like a flat out off day.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, never.
I figured in between travel days, there might be something.
Right.
Wow. All right. This week, characters debuted. Chiapetta and Dolph Ziggler. Characters back. Dad, Big O, and Stanford. All the heavy hitters this week. This was a classic. You see all the big faces episode. Clocks in at 263,841 views. It was a 4 minute 8 second episode. So that's it for Z True Long Island Story episode 20. So ProWrestlingTees.com/Major WF Pod. You can buy some cool shirts about this show, about the Major Pod show, about Majorland, a lot of the network shows. Today I'm wearing this cool Macho Man shirt.
I like that.
About to go on a fig hunt, I think, another store in Jacksonville. So get some more vlog stuff. What do you got? What do we have to plug? What's going? Oh,
yeah, go Matt Cardona.
Wait, let me say this first, real quick. My micro brawlers, July 9th, my Big Cartel, bigcartel.com/smartmarks or smartmarksterling.bigcartel.com, July 9th, noon. Micro brawlers.
Well, you better be sending me 3 of those. So MattCardonaMerch.com. Like I said, we got the retro figures, the internet title keychains, the 8x10s. I got a couple Stomp in Paradise micro brawlers up on there. Then ProWrestlingTees.com/MattCardona for all my t-shirts, this hat that I'm wearing, stuff like that. I do want to say, if you're a fan of the Major Wrestling Pro podcast and you love our live shows this Friday at noon, 11:30 a.m. for Patreon members, tickets will go on sale for Live 9 at Kowloon in the Boston area. We are very, very excited. Live 8 tickets went like this. So I'm assuming Live 9, well, I'm hoping Live 9 tickets will go like that also. It's an afternoon show because it is Saturday, August 21st. It's the day of SummerSlam, but we're doing it in the day. No one's going to miss SummerSlam. Don't worry. Great food, great drinks. I talked to Andy from Kowloon. They're making some special major Mai Tais. And the theme of the show is the major blockbuster of the summer, Stomp in Kowloon. The poster is incredible. a lot of work went into the poster. It looks like a cheesy 80s movies poster, and I love it. We're going to get those as prints. If you're a VIP member, we will sign those, and or VIP if you buy the VIP admission, you're not a VIP member, but you know what I'm saying. And if you're a Patreon member, you will get the early access to get these tickets, or you get the general admission, just get a card. The card will be nice too, I'm sure. But yeah, we're doing these live shows at the 9th one, so we thank you guys for the support, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, the card's going to be awesome because it's going to be that poster that you just mentioned on a card.
That's right. You're right. And I think we will sell a couple posters. I'm not going to order 100 posters. Maybe might order like 20 posters.
Cool.
You know.
All right. Close us out, baby.
All right, guys. So I haven't figured out the Facebook situation yet. So
but we're close.
I don't know. Like me on Facebook if you want, I guess. I don't know. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Buy all the merch. And guys, PBR, baby. We love you. We love PBR. Make sure you're using that hashtag Major PBR. And take care. Spike your hair.
Just take care.